I knew you'd want to come back to the Law and Crime Network because you read my mind that our own Angenette Levy is in the court. Well, right now she's outside the courthouse of Kenosha, Wisconsin, where Kyle Rittenhouse has been tried. Angenette, I had all these questions I was going to ask you, but then the jury came out, the deliberating jury came out with the question, and the judge responded. Tell us what happened.
Yeah, it was really interesting, Linda. You know, I just happened to be out in the hallway doing a radio interview. Somebody was, wanting me to come on and talk about this, and I suddenly saw the defense attorneys rush into the courtroom. I got off the phone, I ran in there, and we learned the jury had a question, and their question was, are we allowed to watch the videos, and where do, and do we have to give you an exhibit number? So, the judge read the question. He said, yes, of course they can watch the videos. But as we saw during jury instructions, there was discussion about how if they sent a laptop back into the jurors' deliberation room to let them just kind of look at this themselves, that the Attorney General's office had told one of the assistant DAs that would be a reversible error should there be a conviction. So they have to watch the video in the courtroom, and now they're researching how many times they can watch it. The prosecution says let them watch it as many times as they want. The defense, meanwhile, doesn't think they should get to watch it as many times as they want. The defense also is objecting to them possibly watching the drone video because he said that they were provided with a fuller, a larger, higher resolution copy of that after the trial, and before the trial they were only provided with a lower resolution copy of that, and that's part of the basis for their motion for a mistrial with prejudice. So there's still some debate there, but yes, they are going to let the jury watch the video. They have to bring them back into the courtroom for that. That is where they are allowed to watch it. And then the second part of the question is, which video is it? And they said, the judge sent the answer back to them saying they just need a general description, not necessarily an exhibit number. So we don't even know if we'll be allowed in there as the public to observe this process. Typically, say they were reading back testimony, we'd be allowed to be in there to listen to that. But we may not be allowed in there for that, and that's something that is being discussed right now. The lawyers are researching it. So a lot going on there, Linda.
Yeah, Angenette, let me give you one other quick question here. The judge, in response to the note, went off on defending the attorneys because he was reading a number of criticisms of them, and also defending himself. I had not seen that. Had you?
No, I haven't. You see judges make some comments here and there. Sometimes, just as an aside, there's some noise going on over there, so I'm just looking to make sure we're not missing anything. Somebody's blaring some music, so I apologize. But there, the judge kind of went into this tangent or an aside about the criticism he's been reading about him and the attorneys involved in the case. And he discussed in particular his decision to allow Kyle Rittenhouse to reach into that tumbler and draw the numbers for the alternates. He says he's been doing that based for a long time now, based on a case that he presided over in Racine, Wisconsin, which is near here. And he said that, the clerk drew the numbers in that case. It was a black defendant, and then the one black juror was excluded from the whole panel. So that's why he started doing that, and he's received criticism for that. He also was upset that the lawyers in the case have been apparently mistreated. They're being inundated with emails and phone calls and text messages. Things are being said about them online. Some of them feel harassed. And so he said he's going to reconsider allowing live broadcast of trials in the future, something he says he's been supportive of in the past. So he said a lot on the bench. He went into this whole thing about responding to the criticisms that have been lobbed at him by members of the public and the media.
All right. We have about 4 minutes, Angenette, to the break, but I do want to ask you one more question here. The judge said he was concerned about optics, and he may not allow cameras in the courtroom. But does he have any indication that maybe he's created the optics by defending himself like this and having his thought process? I mean, I know maybe in the past it's worked, but, we're in a different age.
Yeah, I mean, we are in a different age, much different age. But I think this is something that comes along with any high-profile trial. Linda, I know you remember the O.J. Simpson trial. I remember the O.J. Simpson trial, and there was a ton of media attention on that case. Judge Ito was criticized in that case. The lawyers for the prosecution were criticized in that case, maybe not the defense so much, but there was a lot of criticism. I think anytime you have that glare on a trial, the attention and the focus of the world on a trial, you are going to get a lot of criticism. And I think Judge Schrader, there has been some things he said that, he's from obviously a different time. He's an older gentleman. He's 75 years old. Maybe there are some things he said that some people found offensive. Maybe there are some of his rulings that people didn't like. So, I think everybody can probably step back from this when this is over and think about how they could have done things maybe differently, better, or maybe the same. So it's interesting.
Yeah, Angenette, having been involved in a lot of high-profile cases with media and cameras, following you into the courthouse, everything you say and do is subject to comment by those who are not there. I know how it feels, and you have to have a very thick skin. But you know what? I'm going to let you go back because I understand the jury now has a note. Another note, maybe in response. So I want you to go back because you are our eyes and our ears in that courtroom, and you'll have to tell us what the jury now asked and see, and we'll get to see what the response is. Thank you so much, Angenette. You're always so great.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks, Linda.
Okay.
It was the video that shocked the nation. An unarmed black jogger, 25-year-old Ahmaud Arbery, gunned down in broad daylight. The three-man charge will now stand trial. For live gavel-to-gavel coverage of the trial, subscribe to Law&Crime on YouTube TV today.